Million's better, right?
Okay, and
exactly.
real life.
We
So
lost Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
And we're live. We lost Brian.
I'm still here.
Not your
but
video.
Your video is out.
Hey.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just
Yeah.
sit very still.
Yeah. So it looks like they've optimized their screen for 4-player group, right? Because I have this cross, and I have only room for 4 players, and you, James, are now in this tiny spot on the left side of the screen. Kind of shameful.
That's dumb.
It's okay. Nobody likes me anyways.
I like you. It's okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. You're such a soul, a good soul. So this is Curse of Strahd, right?
Almost.
Oh, and we're suddenly Ravenloft. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Bring it on.
Okay. Yeah.
I've read the book, so this time.
Oh, okay, so this time we're prepared.
Yeah, right.
This time you're gonna win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, just take the secret exit and we're out. We won.
I know all the secret exits now for Curse of Strahd and
Perfect.
everything.
Okay, so actually last time I had a really hard time to summarize what happened last session because we had a lot going on, right? So previously you basically decided before you decided to storm the warehouse that you were told is being used as a safe house for Mr. White's organization. You basically decided to go and gather more information about Mr. White and about those recent happenings in the region. So Eileen wanted to research more about giant activity, and she headed to Serpentine Books and Folios with Zunis and Forgar. And it's the shopkeeper Armage, Dragonborn, told her about the ancient empire of Astoria. And he said that giants are probably seeking relics that are, from that old empire. He also mentioned a Zentarim agent looking for similar relics in the region, a tiefling named Tarkos. And he said that that tiefling identified himself as an archaeologist, but he thinks that this is just a facade. Is probably a Zentarim agent. Elithir went to Bethel's Bottles, which is a lowly tavern, and you met a contact of yours, a man named Kale Lemeth. And you learned that Mr. White is a ghost. No one knows who he is. No one saw him, but people are dying at his command. They are found dead everywhere with notes signed by him, basically a note describing why this man is dead. You also learned that Captain Vasco Varcona is a trusted and reliable captain that was recently lost at sea with his ship. And you also learned that there are rumors circling by of giant ships made of ice. You haven't seen one, but I think you've heard that from different sources, so it looks to be something of substance. While all that was happening, Jack Haynes headed to the Blushing Nymph Inn to locate Zabas Tool, who is someone who can mend the map that was damaged when Elithir tried to open it. And you had a very good time at this inn with all the special treatment the customers get there. And you gave Zabas the map. He told you that he can mend it. And he also hinted that the map leads to a region in the Neverwinter Forest where Lord Neverember, the ruler of Neverwinter, has something to hide there. And he kind of wondered, why are you sticking your nose in this very rich and powerful lord business. At this point, Quarian, he went to his house again and he tried to ambush that window monster that his son is looking at or is talking to. But your landlady, I don't know, landlord, a woman,
Land person.
land person. Yeah, that's okay. So she yeah, so you met Rosaline. She owns the bakery underneath your house, and she basically distracted you, and you couldn't get a sense of who is actually talking to your son at nights. But you did leave a letter there. And then after all that happened, you decided to advance toward the warehouse, and then we had this very interesting scene in which you basically kidnapped an elf that was busy in operating this smuggling operation of Chult-made wines. But later on, you discover that this noble is actually the host of a creature known as an intellect devourer. And the party basically split. So Zunis is deep in the caverns under the warehouse. All of the other are basically with the noble. And right when you destroyed the intellect devourer, Zunis found out a room that is basically full of them, like dozens of them. You jumped into the seawater that is flooding the caves under the warehouse, and then you were basically you kind of surprised several more Tritons who were on their way to the warehouse, and they employed tactics that you are very well familiar with. And this is where we stopped last time. So Zunis.
Okay. Well, let me think. I'm probably a pretty good swimmer, but they are probably as well. Do they look hostile towards me?
Make a perception check.
Perception. Yeah, 13. I think I still have disadvantage on everything, right?
You
I'm
are,
drunk.
yeah, right, correct.
I'm a drunk kitten.
You're
Oh no,
drunk.
I'm not a kitten anymore, right? I
Right.
missed the form.
Yeah.
I'm just a drunk fish man.
So, what was your score?
13.
Perception score?
No, 9, just 9.
9. Okay, so all you can make is dark shapes in the water, but they are definitely Triton. And immediately you recognize the sign language that they use when they are like in a covert operation. So this web kind of explodes in front of you as one of them uses this special gun that is used underwater. The web has kind of, it's not a web, it's a net basically, and it has like weights all around it, so it kind of it opens up like a flower in front of you, and you can see the rest of them kind of motion each other. So there are 4 of them. 2 of them are securing the net and firing it around you. The 2 others, they kind of pull out those it looks like small AK-47, like machine guns, but instead of firing bullets, you know that they are firing darts.
Spear gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to act like I belong to them, and they've just randomly like attacked one of their own. I'm like I do the I know the sign language, right?
Oh, okay.
I do the sign language for what are you doing? I just scouted, and those guys are up there.
Okay, so roll a deception check, but this time without disadvantage, because you have an advantage and they cancel each other. So You identify that their leader is probably telling those two with the dart guns kind of go into the tunnel and eliminate anyone you see there. So they're swimming toward the tunnel, the cave that you just left.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. So they seem to, let's see. So they're kind of confused, but they continue with their previous tactic. And at this point, the net kind of engulfs you. I need to make a dexterity check. See if you are.
Okay. 18. No, 10. I'm drunk, right?
10. Okay. So you're basically, let's say, grappled by this net. Not grappled, restrained. So your speed becomes 0, etc., etc. So you're kind of floating in the middle of this net. Make another perception check, and at this point of time, I want to know what the rest of you are doing.
12.
Quarian, Elithir, 12. Okay. So all you see is that those two soldiers with their dart guns, they kind of, go out of the water, and you can hear like someone is firing darts, and bodies fall into the water.
This is fine. I think I'm getting out of here.
Okay.
These are the good guys, right?
Uh,
And I'm a
Sure.
good guy, so kind of on the
Well,
same
they
side.
might not know that.
okay.
Everybody's
So,
a good guy.
Quarian, Elithir, Jackhans, what do you do?
So we just killed this devourer, right? Just,
Yes. This
So,
slimy brain.
Freak out is what I'm doing. Freaking out. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, why did that guy's head just explode? And like, there's like a brain coming out of people walking around trying to
Yeah.
kill me.
I forgot about the head exploding.
What's going on here?
While he's freaking out, I'm going to calmly go through the pockets of the guy whose head exploded.
Okay. So you do find identification
Didn't
papers.
we already take off all his clothes?
I think you
And look at
did.
it?
But they're
I'm
got to
pretty
be in a pile somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we already looked at it.
So the only
Hey,
thing
I
you
just found ID papers, so you missed something.
Channeling
he-
your last character. Good detective.
So you the only thing you found on him was that pin.
Yeah, which I have.
Yes, and it's not the exactly identification papers, but documents that identify him as Olorin Stour, who is an apprentice studying the arcane arts at House Eltur Chol. This is basically the house that governing the academy, the magical academy at Waterdeep.
What was his name again? How do you say
Olorin Stour.
Aloran?
Stour, like Sturr. R.
Arr.
It's on the NPC roster list at Roll20 in the handout
Oh, okay.
at the bottom,
Thank you.
which I really like. All these
Mm-hmm.
NPCs actually having a list of them instead of having to
Yep.
do work yourself and write it down.
Yes.
Do we know anything about these creatures? This intellect devourer? Where is they more common? Where they might be coming from?
So I think you can make an Arcana check.
I don't know much. I got an 8.
Okay. You do know these creatures, but you have trouble recalling any specific information about them. All you know is that they are very, very dangerous because they can basically burrow into one's mind and kind of replace what he has inside his skull. And when they get out, you're dead. You don't know any cure for this. Like this Olorin that this creature emerged from his head is dead.
Damn. Okay.
So, in my line of work and with the contacts I have in the city, do I have understanding or, of where would be a good place to dump a body?
Probably.
Don't look at me like that, James.
I'm
Yeah,
in.
and people mistrust me. Like,
Yeah, right.
oh, I know a good dumping place for this body.
Do you?
Oh, it's good. It's good that the paladin's in with this. Thanks, Forgar.
Oh yeah.
So there's this old and trusty way of simply tying up enough rocks and stones and dumping it to the water. Other than that, the gutters or any slaughterhouse, if you are able to pay.
What if we threw it in the gutter and freaked it out by Mr. White?
I don't want to bring on the ire of Mr. White.
I think it's too late for that. We just raided his warehouse. I think we've already caught his attention.
And who's to say that? And I point over at that brain thing. That isn't Mr. White. Moving around two different persons.
That's a fair assumption, but it died pretty easy. I don't know.
It's just
I have a
it's just an
feeling that
apprentice.
was too easy.
Easy? Like my entire life flashed before my eyes there as good for me.
It was a short flash, though, right?
Hey.
I'm just saying you're young. You're young.
Yeah.
That's all.
And
Yes. Hey, I'm 16. I'm old.
Mm-hmm. You're an adult now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm 10 times your age. I'm going to start whatever I can find. Maybe there's a barrel or a crate or something like that, but I'm going to start packaging up our gift to the sea gods here.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll help you with
makes sense.
that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm just going to study the creature in a way that I can pretty much remember what it looks like if I ever need to show it to someone, like with an illusion or something like that.
Okay. Makes sense. Forgar, anything you want to do?
I'm helping package up this body.
Okay. I'm picturing the paladin kind of stuffing the a feet and a hand.
Meanwhile, I'm like shaking my head like, oh, why am I doing this? How did I get to this point?
Come
Using
on.
the axe to.
Don't do it like that. Everybody knows you have to cut off the limb first before you do it. Come on.
Exactly.
If you
Amateur.
guys gonna start cutting this guy apart, fine, you go. I am not.
Well, Jenkins wouldn't say something like that. Because Jenkins is not a murderer.
Right.
Unlike other in this party here.
Yeah. Does it fit? In whatever
yeah,
package? Perfect.
after you kind of,
Yeah.
twist and break.
Do what I got to do.
Nail the lid on.
Zunis, as you are engulfed with, restrained by that net, the leader of those tritons kind of swims right to you, surprised that you're not choking underwater. And when he gets very close, you see his face and you realize you know this guy. This guy is one of the tritons that served with you at that special unit called the Vast Mirage. He kind of opens his eyes as he identifies you and drags you out of the net and swims with you to the mouth of the cave, and then you both emerge out of water. You see that his people are basically securing the openings, and you can hear those chip, 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 as they kind of shoot at those brainy creatures who try to basically run to them. He doesn't say anything. He just points at those creatures, and then he pulls out his own dart gun, and they kind of, as a trio, wedge, and then they storm in.
So Triton Marines.
Yeah.
Navy
Aw,
SEALs.
yeah.
Blue beret.
Blue Beret. There we go. Frogman.
I think I'm gonna follow him and I'm gonna help those guys out.
Okay, so in this case, let me know what you do. They are basically shooting these darts at those creatures. So you spot several hits and several misses, but they do advance. Anything you want to do?
Let me see if I have any. I don't really have a lot of spell slots. If I can see like multiple of them within an area, I would cast Entangle on them to make it easier for them to net them.
So do that, and let me know how does this spell work, so I can.
A creature must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by entangling plants.
Okay, that's fine.
And it's DC 12.
Okay, so you managed to catch 4 of them. Strength, oh, that's good. Oh, they're not very good at that. So, what's the DC?
12.
Oh, so all 4 fail.
Nice.
Okay. As you progress, the 3 Marines, Triton Marines, basically go straight at those restrained creatures and shoot them point blank, dealing some damage. And at this point, a creature that wasn't seen before jumps at one of the Tritons and fells him. What do you want to do? They that man, the Triton, you know, his name is Dion. He looks at you and says one word: exit. And that was a question.
So does it look like we get overwhelmed by those creatures?
So he seems to be very afraid of these creatures. He tries to make sure they stay, far away. But one of his men just got, face hugged.
Okay. That I nod, and I'm gonna use one of my beast shapes to save the guy. But let's see, which one can I use?
Okay.
Maybe I'll use an ape.
Okay.
Let's see what the ape can do.
In the meantime, Quarian, as you guys are, mashing this elf into a pulp that fits into a crate, and if I remember correctly, you kind of stepped away from the warehouse to find this maybe an abandoned warehouse or an alley or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So you guys hear the boots of a Waterdavian patrol approaching.
Shoot.
Okay. Can we concentrate everything there? No, wait a minute. I'm trying to think if I can put an illusion somewhere that would make them see nothing and continue over there.
If they open the door? That kind of illusion? Could you do
Something
an
like
illusion
that.
of the room at 2-dimension? Or what? I don't know what your capabilities are, but right in front of the door?
Yeah, my capabilities are like a 5-foot cube. That's pretty much what I can do.
Oh.
So maybe I can just put okay, I can put. Well, we are stuffing him into a crate, right?
Yep.
I guess it's like the body and some blood around it inside a crate.
Yes.
I'm going to make an illusion of a huge crate around all this, and we can hide like in a different room, like away from it.
Could you do an illusion over the door that the door is like a heavy metal door that's barred so that it looks like they can't open it?
Yeah, but if they knock on it, they would feel that it's wood.
If they knock, I'm just wondering what reason they'd have to knock.
Or just if they touch it, try to open it, something, they would instantly know that it isn't. But like
they'd also
up to you.
they'd instantly know the crate's not it if they touched it too.
Yeah. Either way, I'm running for cover. Like,
well, yeah. But
I think we should all run for cover. I just want to try to cover it up.
So you basically,
you see, I can also create like an illusion of some extra boxes in here.
Perfect. You guys go to town. Can I quickly, while we were stuffing the body in the crate, I wanted to make a sleight of hand check to do something so that the paladin there, Forgar, doesn't notice.
Yep.
Never mind. What's your passive perception, Forgar?
Passive perception's 11.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You notice me put 2 gold coins in the guy's mouth.
Oop.
I don't say anything.
Okay. Anyway, I'm ducking for cover.
Quarian,
I'm doing sleight of hand to steal the gold. Yeah, just kidding.
Replace them with like copper coins or something.
Yeah. I'm watching you. I'll say something if
What was your sleight of hand check?
Yeah, no,
Wait,
just
wait,
kidding.
wait. Yeah, and you weren't helping us anyway. So, but that is really funny. I love it.
Quarian, so you're creating this huge crate around the mashed crate.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it like to locate it in a way that would hide the crate with a guy in it and the creature if I can, and any blood spills on the area or stuff like that if I can. I mean, it's like there's blood.
How big could you make it?
5 feet, 5 square foot on each side.
That's not a lot. That's 1.5 meters. I can create one that's 3 times
but
as
if
big.
we're fitting a dude, if it was a tight fit, that crate's gonna be not quite 5 feet, right?
Yeah, but I'm thinking I think the blood splatter and everything.
Oh
If you guys combine your illusions and.
Yeah. Okay, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So Jack Hens and Quarian kind of work together to create this large crate.
Well, I would rather create like several boxes that look like slightly rotten and just empty.
Okay, great. So I need you all to make your stealth or hide checks.
Ah, crap.
Believe I'm wearing my armor at this point.
Oh.
Well, I'm not hiding near Forgar.
No, my
Forgar is hiding behind the lamppost.
No, I'm standing in front of it. Let's be real. With a 1 check, I'm just leaning up against the imaginary crate. I'm floating that little bit because it's bigger.
With a pipe in your mouth. Hey guys.
I'm well hid.
Okay, so scores because I can't see roll 20.
21.
I got an 18.
13.
18. 2.
No, I have a -1. 1.
Okay. And you, Jackins?
21.
Oh my God. So 2 guards stroll into the room, into the warehouse you are staying in. They kind of whoosh in, and then Jackins, Elithier, and Quarian. All you can see is kind of clothes fly and boots fly and pieces of armor fly, and you can see 2 guards. Or they used to wear guards uniform. They immediately start to get all over each other. But at some point, you can hear this. He's throwing her on the wall. She's throwing him on a crate, and then they kind of both freeze as they kind of lock eyes with Forgar.
Awkward.
Forgar,
don't mind me. I'm just I'm just leaving. I'm going that way. Yeah, that way. And then I
Carry
go
on.
back deeper into the warehouse.
okay. So you kind of melt outside. What the rest of you want to do, because they are dangerously close to knocking out crates that aren't there.
I'm staying there and maybe modifying the. Let's see how long does my illusion actually last. It lasts for 10 minutes, and I need to concentrate on it. So I'm staying here. Concentrating on this.
For a distraction.
So
How
you
well
need
can
to
you concentrate there?
Yes. So I'm
You're a
trying
little
not to get
distracted.
I'm trying not to
Make
get
a
distracted.
concentration check.
I would. So Jackins, if it was Quarian, he has a kid, so he's seen things. But I need you to actually make a concentration check to
Okay.
be able to.
Yes. Well, and normally it's Constitution. Would you like me to do something else instead of Constitution?
Well,
Charisma.
Charisma.
Something that maybe makes more sense.
What do you suggest?
I don't
Wisdom?
know, like wisdom, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, go
it's
for
it's
wisdom.
it's bad, but hey, I'll
Yeah.
go for it.
So he's sweating, trying to.
17. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After his
I
experiences.
am
at
wise.
the tavern.
Yeah,
I am wise beyond my ears, and I've just been like to a brothel. So come on,
Yeah,
like
it's not
this
your
is
first
nothing.
set of booties, so you're good.
Yeah.
I think I can like get them out of there. I can like use a minor illusion, another minor illusion, to like make a scream come from outside the warehouse.
Okay. So as you do, they both jump and kind of collect, boots and swords. Basically, all the rest stays at the warehouse, and they kind of fly outside. What's going on? What's going on?
Perfect.
Yeah. So.
And I'm standing out there going, "Was it?"
Was it me?
Yeah.
Well done, Forgar. Well done.
You
Um,
again.
When they run outside, I'm going over to where they drop the gear to see if I can find like a symbol of the city guards to steal.
That's yeah. That was my same idea. I'm running down there and I'm gonna scoop up the guy's uniform.
Okay.
Yeah,
you-
I'm not taking a uniform. Just if I assume they have like some sort of emblem or
Yes.
something they can identify themselves with other than the uniform.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna
so-
scoop up the uniform and I want to try and like grab the crate and look for someone to help me. Like we got to get this out of here right now.
So
Okay, I'll
you're
help you.
basically okay. So you are kind of taking their whatever clothes that you
I'll
can.
help you. Yeah, we take all their clothes because why not?
Yeah.
Except
we
for
have
their
uniforms.
Boots except for their boots and their weapons.
Yeah. Well, of course.
That's all they need.
What kind of armor were they wearing?
So it's black leather, and there is the crest of Waterdeep on it, which is basically a sun going down below the horizon, near a mountain. So Waterdeep is a city on a mountain. So the bay, the mountain, and the sun goes down.
Yeah. That down.
Okay, so you, Jack Hens, indeed get this badge that you can flush to show people that you're part of the guard. You do find something interesting on it. It's like a golden and silver crest like they have on their armor, but below it there are 3 runes which you don't identify, which is basically strange. So you kind of sneak out as these 2 guards rush out and kind of confront Forgar again. As you evacuate the entrance, they see, they kind of look at you, Forgar, and she asks you, "Is everything okay?" Well,
She's naked, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, everything's okay. I just tripped over on that thing that's
I saw a rat.
there. It was scary. I screamed a little. I'm sorry.
So as you do that, you can see your friends kind of sneaking out of the warehouse with the crate and everything. So,
If I see
but
that, I'll try and keep their attention a little longer so they can get the crate out.
what do you say?
It was a really big rat that I saw. It went that way, which isn't that way because that way there's nothing over there. It went that way. Can you come and help me see if I can find it?
And they say, sure, we'll just grab our clothes. And
No,
and we'll come."
I think I see it. Like I can see it right now. It took my wallet. I really need to find it. It's
so
just over around the corner.
roll your deception, and as you kind of preoccupy them, you guys manage to go out of the warehouse safely. Yeah, Forgot? 11.
Yeah.
So they kind of look at you strange and say, we'll be right back. And then they head to the warehouse. But then you don't see them anymore. So you think you're safe. So you're headed to the dock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Zunis.
think we should just carry it like we own the place.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, my intuition was right. The ape has a lot of athletics, so I'm gonna turn into an ape and I will try to drag the body of the one that got attacked by whatever. I'm
Okay.
trying to drag him out of there and
Great.
carry him.
So I need you to make a strength check. Do you want to try and ungrapple it from the facehugger that jumped on him?
Right. That's what I'm trying
Okay.
to do.
Great. So make a strength check, and you can see the two remaining Tritons kind of talking to each other, and then this Dion, he turns to you and say, "Did you see any papers, any books?" Scrolls, maybe.
Out of character, did I? I don't.
All you remember is this huge pile of gold coins that was there, along with the canisters where those intellect devourers kind of resided.
I say no, but I didn't have time to go through the whole place and scout the whole place.
So you can hear Dion tell his comrade, "It's got to be here somewhere. Our diviners didn't make a mistake."
And I rolled an 8, by the way.
Okay, so you kind of fight with this as an ape.
Yep.
You fight with this creature who then turns on you and try to claw you. He hits AC 19.
That hits me.
Okay. So his claws deal, that's 3 and 3, so that's 6 plus 2, 8 points of damage.
Okay, I have 8 left.
Okay. And then they turn to kind of sweep the area. They simply jump over those who are entangled. It seems like Dion is willing to leave his friend behind. What do you do?
I will try once more before also leaving.
Okay, so do that. Let me know how you did.
I rolled an 8 again with disadvantage.
Okay, so at this point, Dion turns around, looks at you and your efforts, see that you are struggling, and then he simply takes aim and fires his friend. With a 16. So that Triton is gone, like a dart through the chest, and
Oh, you
he
killed him.
simply dies at your hand. And you can see that the creature that is on him kind of starts to basically devour him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I turn around then and leave with the other tritons.
Okay. They look at the rooms. You didn't manage to take all the gold, right? I mean, you grasp all that you could, but
No.
okay. So when they find this room, Dion steps in, picks up one of the coins, and says, "This is it."
This is one.
They both turn to you and say, Dion says, "Let's go to the surface. It's not safe here. We only need one coin."
Okay.
Okay. So you go back to the warehouse. They look a bit confused, but they kind of, whisper clear, clear as they kind of survey the area, and you find yourself next to the door that leads outside. Dion looks at you and says, "We need a safe house."
Ah man, I'm not sure if I can trust these guys after brutally killing one of their own. I'm not sure if I want them to stay in the mansion. I say that there are a few nice taverns in town. I can show you one that has enough free rooms for all you guys.
Lead on.
Okay, I will lead them to just a random tavern. I don't think I'm very familiar with the taverns in town, so just a random. And I'm
Okay.
like, oh yeah, this one surely has a few rooms for you guys.
Okay. So you take them and start to lead them through the streets. Let's make it interesting and say that on your way you meet your friends carrying a bloodstained crate, looking as innocent as possible but failing desperately.
Hey.
Well,
Not
four guys
today.
failing. He's
The
not used to
problem
this.
the problem lies with the hand kind of that stretches from the crate, from the back side of it.
Somebody's standing there awkwardly trying to block it with their body.
Yeah.
Well, we can fix that. Give me your axe.
So you can see Zunis kind of walking in the street. Behind him are two Tritons dressed to kill, like two 007 agents. They kind of lose their swimming suits and naval gear, but underneath you can see that they wear, ordinary clothes used by anyone in the Sword Coast, like, leather pants and a white shirt, traveling boots.
Can we actually tell them apart, or do all of these
All Tritons
look
look
alike?
the same.
Yeah.
We are all
I'm
slightly
not that I'm a racist or anything, but like you do all kind of look the same.
we are all slightly different shades of blue. Like I'm turquoise, right? If you remember. And
Oh,
The blue guy? The blue guy?
And he's ripped, right? Like
Blue
he's
guy.
gotta be Schwarzenegger big, right? As a Marine,
oh yeah, they should be. I guess.
right? Just like buff.
Yeah, so more like Van Damme, like big. So they're lean and flexible.
They do the splits whenever possible.
Yeah.
Crossing the street, bam.
I'm just gonna nod to him and kind of motion towards the bay and just keep trucking. I don't know that there's an arm sticking out of the back of the
Yeah,
crate.
I nod back and I mention that these are some people that I know, and they are working for the city, basically. That's all.
Oh, no, that's why they're not working. Got it. Are they on break?
No, I mean you're carrying something. So
Oh,
Yeah.
we work for
Oh,
the city.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Triton.
I'll pull out the city guard badge. Yeah, official city guard.
Nice.
perfect.
Yeah.
It's all good here.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Carry on.
Yeah, they're probably
Perfect.
carrying some sort of evidence or something, you know.
Yep.
You watch us throw it into the bay.
Into the bay.
Yeah,
That's
as you're saying that, yeah, it's probably like evidence, anything, and then splash. Oh,
So, are we close to the bay?
Yeah. Actually, you're
Okay.
very close. The warehouses are basically at the bay. So
Okay, so when we get close, we'll have to stop in like a discreet place and tie rocks or something heavy to the body.
God, we'll need so many rocks for that big of a crate.
Well, we'll tie the rocks to him, and then it'll flip over and he'll fall out.
His parts, anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
you're the expert, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly, as the paladin, I've never disposed of a body this way, so I'll
So,
take your
this
word
way.
for that.
I'm
this
imagining.
way.
Specifically.
I'm
'Cause you grew up in
imagining
mountains.
you standing in a row with the Tritons watching as you kind of roll the crate to the water, and then it splashes and bloop 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 bloop, bloop kind of sinks, and then they watch you and you watch them and kind of.
Yeah, nothing to see
yeah,
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So a tavern nearby.
Tavern, yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah.
Ale.
So,
Yes.
what about the warehouse? Shouldn't we like investigate it?
Ale.
Wasn't that why we were here? Like the warehouse.
yes, while we're dumping the body, though, I want to make sure that we do this right. So we're gonna carry it out, and then I'm gonna stumble a little bit so the crate falls in, and I'm gonna swear loudly and go, "Oh shit, the boss is gonna be pissed." That's the second one we've dropped in the bay.
So
There goes all his wine, and
So
then I'm
Di-
gonna wander away.
So Dion looks at you and say, "We can help retrieve it."
No, you're missing the point, sir. Screw the boss. I quit. And then I'm
You
gonna
strip
walk
it
away.
off your uniform.
As we watch it sink, though, I will say a quick prayer to Umberly, asking her to accept my sacrifice, my donation, sorry, and keep our secret safe.
It glows a little and some noise happens. Oh.
It
Yeah.
explodes.
The shark just goes.
A shark, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Umberly. Yes,
So
I agree, though. We should go back and continue. Well, at least go back and rally our forces together and discuss what we know.
We know
Dion,
Jonas was in there. He came out, and wasn't he the one scoping it? Aren't we good
True.
on exploring that warehouse then?
I don't know. We haven't talked to
Yeah,
them yet.
No, yeah.
Hmm.
By the way, didn't Zunis and his friends meet the two nobles that we saw when we left the warehouse?
Yeah, she
Somebody
threatened to
did.
make a purse out of me. If I could have
Yeah.
killed her, I would.
Yeah, so we should all put
Um,
all this information together and see what we can figure out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
we-
So to the
brains-
tavern.
And yeah, and brains are attacking. So watch out.
Sorry?
Yeah, the brains, the floating
Oh,
attacking
yes.
brains with the claws.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes.
watch out for those.
Yeah, I think we should go back to the
creepy as
mansion.
shit.
Yeah, let's go back to the mansion. Like go to a
Oh.
tavern.
Yeah, we
Ale?
should go to
Ale
a
would be
tavern.
wise.
We
can
need,
drink.
we need a room for these guys.
We can drink for free at the mansion. You know that, right?
Fine, to the mansion.
And,
We drop
Dion-
these guys off.
Dion
need it.
says, looks at you, Zunis, and says, "You have a mansion?"
Um,
I'm gonna look at Zunis and look at them and be like,
well, you know, it belongs to the state, and I'm living there, but it's the guest rooms are for official guests, you know, not private.
I'll nod proudly.
He
Yeah,
just
they are.
looks at you and he doesn't even blink.
You didn't mention the mansion.
So did I also get one of those badges? I assume there was 2 of those badges. Those
Yes.
Waterdeep badges. Perfect. Yeah. So at that point, I'll flash the badge and go, yeah, official business, and I'm gonna start walking away. So it makes me
He's-
very uncomfortable.
He says,
Makes you uncomfortable.
you were investigating this cave under official business of the Waterdeep government.
Yes.
I walked away. So
I'm in a more or less, yes. We
More or
not-
less.
well, not,
More or
well,
less.
well, to be fair, not quite, but
More less than more.
we got the clue. We got tipped off to the warehouse from an official government position. So we were more or less acting on their behalf.
He says, maybe we should all compare notes then.
That makes sense. Why were you guys here? What were you looking for? And yeah,
He
what do
says-
you know about the place?
He says, I would feel much more comfortable in with a roof above my head and a drink in my hand.
Hmm,
Yes.
most definitely. Let's look for the nearest inn. I point to Morton's character. What is his name again? Drenkin.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drenkin. Drenkin, you know the city well. Show us the
Yes,
best
of
tavern.
course. The best tavern as the most expensive, or the best tavern for a good time.
So we're going back to the
That's
name.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we go to the
New
name.
rock.
Well, I wouldn't actually mind. Maybe yeah. Let's go there actually.
I
That
wouldn't
that
mention.
sounds like a
I-
nice
I-
place.
No, I won't mention that one. I'll mention. I'll go to like one of the, like in the like lower middle class type, where like the more rowdy types, but that's actually like a nice place, not where you get stabbed in the back.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
that's fair.
So you lead them to the Knoll Fang, which is basically a restaurant, but the roof of the restaurant is kind of like a place where you can take your drink and watch the city as it goes by. There are lanterns all around and candles lit, and there's a bartender, so like a chill out place. And you all go there as a group, and when you do, the Triton suddenly stops, and then he says, "Excuse me, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Dion, and this is Ceruz." And he points to the sole surviving Triton.
Yes.
pleasure.
My name is Amon. I say, and like wants to shake his hand.
Nice.
I say, my name is Quarian, and pleased to meet you. Shall we get a drink?
I walk back with 2. This was a rough day for me.
Yeah, so you all meet at the roof of this place. So Forgar basically fetched you dinner and drinks as you all kind
I
of
thought that
stand.
was all for himself. Like just came back with a huge tray full of like
Yeah.
food
Yeah,
and drinks, and like,
starts-
oh yes, so sorry I didn't bring anything for you
Do
guys.
you guys want anything? My bad. I just got this for me.
And they look at you kind of with disdain as you kind of order fish and other, popular food at the docks. They don't eat that, but they do drink the fine wine that is served there. And at this point, Dion turns to Eusenis and says, "We are searching for General Kamal's submarine, the Notorious."
Sorry.
Oh,
Alright.
am I aware that those guys had a submarine?
Do I
So
know what that is?
no, all of you never heard of this. What is a submarine? But you kind of infer it. Eusenis, you have served under General Kamal. If you remember, you had this special training, but then something went terribly wrong. They say that the Vost Mirage, this sect that you were part of, was dismantled after Generals Kamal, after he disappeared. And the coins that you took, and they only have one, should lead them to his submarine. And they have a feeling that those reports of giant ships made of ice, and in a more general way, the stirring of giants maybe are related to one of General Kamal's missions. You do know that he went very, very deep under sea, and returned. How should I say it? He kind of lost his mind. Whatever he saw there kind of cracked him, and then he went on this rampage. So
Yeah, I
Dion,
remember.
Dion says these coins will lead us to his submarine. We want to know where he's been so we can learn what we can about that recent activity of the giants.
Okay, wait. So, like, a submarine is a ship that goes underwater?
He looks at you and he says, General Kamal was one of our best. He was a great leader and a great tactician. He was also a great inventor. He used the resources our nation gave him to build a vessel that can travel underwater so deep, even Tritons could not. But something found him there. He returned to our underwater city and went on a rampage. He started killing everyone. People started bleeding when they approached him, started suffering from terrible headaches, and some of us even exploded into water, the very basic element that creates us. And he looks at you, Zanis, as he says that. We fought him, but he escaped. Our mission ever since was to find the vessel that he left behind, but it seems that someone found it before we did. We believe that this, and he holds the coin, is part of a treasure he found wherever he was, deep under sea. It seems like whoever is owning this warehouse found his vessel before we did.
You mentioned that you exploded into water?
That was a side effect of proximity to his presence. It seems like he was gifted with psychic powers.
You're sure he's not infected with one of those brain creatures? Sounded sort of like what happened with the elf we met earlier.
That could be the case. We are not sure.
Okay. So all in favor for not going anywhere near those guys?
Yeah.
No, I don't raise my hand.
Hmm. So you want your head to explode into water again? Looking at you.
So what have you been doing at that warehouse?
Been interrogating.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
investigating
that.
those people owning the warehouse. Operate a little bit on the criminal side of things, and yeah, we were investigating.
It should take a very brave criminal to do business with General Kamal or his agents. Can you share anything more?
Well, it seems that the criminals that operating from within this warehouse, they are being sheltered by the out of character. I forgot the name of the
Mr. White.
no of the family that
The-
shelters
The
them.
Elder Chol.
The El Tacho, okay. Yeah, they are being sheltered by the El Tacho, and yeah, maybe that piece of information might be helpful for you.
And he says it might. And then he turns to his friend and he starts a discussion with him. Basically, they are whispering to each other as they kind of hold the coin.
And I mentioned like it seems like there's some nobles that has been probably infected by these brain creatures. So they're using the nobles, it seems.
So while this is all happening, I'm going to pretend like I'm not listening, and I'm just like I'm watching the crowd, keeping my eyes open, which I am, but I am just listening.
Okay.
This is all news to me. Everything you guys are saying is news to me, basically, except for the Elder Chol bit.
I go and get
Okay.
more ale.
Actually, you're the one who found out about this Mr. White, right? But that his
Yeah,
been
that stuff I
murdering
know,
people
but
around.
people turning into water and
Right.
all of that's new to me.
Yeah, right.
Um,
So, what are you guys planning to do once you do find this submarine and the general? What's his name?
General Kamal.
Kamal. Yes.
Dion says we plan to destroy the submarine. This blasphemous device should not have been invented on the first place.
Is it? It sounds like it's a ship, right? Or a sort of a ship, or a sort of a vessel.
It's a ship that can traverse undersea.
Okay. It sounds like
We-
you're blaming the ship for something that the general did.
Make an insight check. That was a very, very interesting remark, and you immediately feel that you've hit a nerve.
Okay, inside I got 18 total.
Okay, so he looks at you, and you can see that he is maybe calculating words, but then he says, "We believe that the ship took life of its own when it visited the deep."
Dub dub dub.
Mm.
Right. That needs more ale.
You kind of stroll in and then stroll
Yeah,
back.
turn around, go back.
There's
Oh, okay, sorry.
there's a legend of a citadel deep undersea ruled by a menacing storm giant. If the ship was even near that cursed place, it might have took onto itself some of the evil of that place. It was in waters no one should be. It should be destroyed.
How
And
do you
with-
think? Sorry.
No, it just points out that the coin was probably the key to find that ship.
How?
Can I ask an
Are- Yep.
out of character question? One of my chosen enemies is, of course, elves, which means I've done lots of research on all different kinds of elves. And because mind flayers or lithiids are so inexorably linked to drow, would I know anything about them?
About mind flayers, yes.
Yeah, mind flayers and okay, all right. So at this point, I'm gonna speak up and ask him if he thinks that there's any connection. What you're speaking of sounds awfully similar to ships that the mind flayers, the Ilithiids, use called nautiloids, which I believe can travel under the water, but I'm not certain. I know they can travel through great distances in the air. And mind flayers are also known to keep intellect devourers as pets and are telepathic and psionic creatures. This is all awfully familiar, but still distant and almost unrelated as it pertains to giants. I'm not making the connection here. Do you think there's any relation?
At this point, he looks at Aline, but he answers your question. He says, "We have seen activities in a lot of organizations recently. The dwarves in Thornhold, they dig deeper and deeper. We hear the Zentarium are searching for something or someone. We have witnessed a giant ship made of ice. We have seen flying citadels searching for something. We believe it is all connected to General Kamal and his discoveries undersea." And he says, maybe what you say is true. We have yet to prove it, but we have to search far and wide to find the evidence we seek. And he says that these coins might lead us where we want to go, but we are not sure.
Can I look at the rest of the group, like kind of gauge everybody's level of comfort with these guys? Like, how much information do we share, and give them like a questioning look? Like, do we give them more?
I think we can.
Forgar?
Do we have more?
I'm at this point drinking away all the terrible deeds I've done today, and will give you whatever answer you're looking for from
Okay.
me.
Specifically Zunis, like I'll lock eyes with you. And
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on these guys.
okay. I'm gonna say, well, thank you for sharing all the information. We need to discuss this and decide what we're going to do further. I assume you'll be staying nearby for the night?
And he says, of course.
I'm gonna look at Zunis and like, we should retire.
Oh, one more question before we leave. As I'm leaving, I'm drunk and I'm stumbling away going, how big is this? Like this submarine thing, is it like able to get in these bays, or like where can it get to? Close to land and such.
And he says that it's probably the size of a large ship. It can
All right.
host, he thinks something like 30 to 40 men.
Oh, that's pretty
All
good.
right.
You
How
need
did you think they
very
destroy
deep
it?
water.
So it probably wouldn't be able to sneak into the city staying underwater here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Yes.
trying to figure out.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yes.
know. He doesn't know, but it would take. I mean, he knows General Kamal, so he says the general would not risk this vessel being detected. He would search for a place far and remote to hide it.
But doesn't he need supplies? Wouldn't he need to still be somewhat close to civilization?
We believe he made contact with someone on land, but we are not sure who. We were hoping to track these coins and find whoever is trading with them or paying with them.
You guys think we can tell them about? Okay, let's talk about it later. We might consider telling them about what we did catch over there, right? What the guy that we just threw into the water told us. But I mean, we do know that he traded with this wine from where? Charlton.
Yeah, so we need to get away from these guys so we can talk in open.
Yeah.
To the mansion.
Okay.
To the Batcave.
Yeah.
Okay, so you retreat back to the mansion.
When we go, I'm going to break off from the group and wait 10 minutes in an alley and then follow from the distance and make sure that they're not following us.
Okay. Roll your perception check.
God dang it. 16.
Okay.
Do you guys mind going past my house on the way?
Not in the
I
slightest.
just have something that I want to check.
I want to check. I didn't leave the stove open.
Yeah. Well, how far
I just want
out
to check
of,
on my kid.
It's really late. How far?
I'll go with
Out
you.
of our way is it?
It's really a small check. I won't even go up. I just want to check the window.
Yeah. Sure.
I just take a quick look at where I left the letter. I want to check if it's still there.
No, it's not.
Okay. I continue going. We keep walking.
Okay.
What were you looking for?
Someone from the past.
Interesting.
Someone from the past. Huh. I'll
Okay.
follow.
So you arrive at the mansion. Wait. I'll find it. Come on. So Elmorn opens the door.
Trevor.
Oh, hi.
And says,
Elmorn, was it, right?
yeah, finally. You want something to eat?
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be great.
And drink.
And drink, yeah.
Did we just eat?
And
Yeah.
drink.
I'm fine.
What
And
what race is
isn't it
Elmorn?
Isn't it like 3 a.m. at this time?
He's a halfling, and yes, it's really late.
Then I will give a little bow to him and greetings, Mr. Elmorn, and then I'll walk in.
Okay. So he says, elf, so polite. And then he'll rush to light the fire. And so you have this warm fireplace in front of you. There are rugs everywhere and armchairs you can rest in. And he'll simply go and fetch like hot potatoes and warm apple cider. And we'll fill your pipes with halfling weed.
I don't smoke that junk.
I'll go for it.
Keep my head straight. So yeah, I was gonna bring up the topic of the the tiefling archaeologist who is Zentarum, right? Or we think is Zentarum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is what you were told.
Yeah, there's too many links to the Zentarum and mind flares, and ultimately, in my mind, to Drow. I think everything relates back to Drow. But for my comfort level, I think inevitably there's got to be some sort of Zentarum plot involved in all this. What if General Kamal has made contact with the Zentarum and they're supplying him?
It is possible.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
And maybe this archaeologist is somehow related to that, or at least involved in it. Maybe they're searching for something on land that General Kamal needs.
Is there any, like, I know we went looking for information about artifacts, but did we come up with anything about that?
I don't think we got more than his name.
Yeah.
Mm.
Eileen says that all she learned that was his name and that he is searching for some sort of buried relics belonging to the ancient empire of Ostoria, which is basically a giant empire. A day's ride to the north, like halfway between Waterdeep and Thornhold.
So
Thornhall was where the refugees wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And also the noble said that it was his ancient hole, that it was actually dwarves.
Yes.
We're supposed to go check in on them, aren't we?
I did offer that we could maybe help them, like escort them there. So yeah.
Did we?
And there's that's something interesting. I said that. There is something going on there, I think.
in Thornhold?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Well, there was this noble that really wanted to get into his crypt.
Get into whose crypt? Sorry.
His crypt or his family crypt.
Oh, his family crypt.
Yeah.
And is it somehow related to all of this, or is it just there was a noble that wanted into his family crypt?
Yes.
Okay.
No. It could be interesting looking into his family crypt. Like.
Sure, but
I'm sure we could get. I'm sure we could get in there.
Seems kind of unrelated.
I say as I pat my my pocket where I have a key to it. Yes.
I drink more with the topic of breaking into someone's grave.
No, not just breaking in, just looking into it. Like.
What have you people made me?
And there was the dwarf with the really good, like, what was it, ale or wine you drank that you really liked?
That was good ale.
Yes.
So, the way I see it, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have 3 leads: Mr. White and his warehouse, and the Elder Troll family. That's kind of all one lead. The archaeologist, the Zentarum archaeologist, and the wreck of the Star Dancer, but which we don't know where that is.
Oh,
but we might be able to find.
I'm sure the map will be ready anytime soon.
Right.
There is actually also
fourth
another
lead. So we have 5 leads.
There's also the lead for we can't go with the refugees and escort them to the Fongorn.
Thornhold.
I don't see how that relates.
No, they're in the temple. What was it? The temple to something
of the Oak Father.
Oh wait, they came with us to Waterdeep, and now they want to go to Sunlight?
Then Waterdeep,
yeah.
They're resting at the temple, where also
also
Johnny maybe?
Winter is Coming was written on the paper that originated in that church. We also wanted to go to that church and check it out and see.
Yeah.
To the church.
So
let's maybe go see first, Forgar.
The refugees don't seem to be a lead to me. Escorting them doesn't seem to be investigating this at all.
Helping your fellow man.
I have a great amount of empathy for refugees, but I don't see how that helps us.
It helps them.
Do you know when we got the
exactly.
The archaeologist? Do you know when he left to go looking for that thing he was looking for?
I think it was something like a week or several days.
That might be a time-limited lead.
Right? Do we want to try and stumble upon this archaeologist?
That's
Also, if we need to go after Vasco Valcona's shipwreck, I,
Mhm.
I probably know someone whose ship we could hire. Well, I could hire it. It wouldn't be a problem. I could pay for it. I know
We
him.
should have. We maybe should ask the Tritons if they knew where that shipwreck was.
Well, they're still
Shipwreck?
down.
You really want to share that information with those?
Well, if they already know
I thought that
about
was
it,
like front page news.
Yeah, but we know where it is, or will
No,
soon, as soon as I restored the map that Ilithir
does the
destroyed.
does the map show the location of the shipwreck? I thought it was just a map of the trail system around Neverwinter.
No, it's
don't
not.
know.
The map, as far as you can tell, doesn't show the shipwreck. The shipwreck is news, something that happened not recently.
It's new,
so.
yeah, just happened. So
Whatever he's
shoot, Skype
stored
froze
up
on
there.
me again.
Oh, we can see your camera normally, actually. No, not
No,
anymore.
No,
And
should have
you're back.
never said anything.
So I do think we should go to the church at least to find out what was the thing about the note at Jarla's place. We still haven't figured what that thing was all about.
and where Jolly actually is. We know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Has anybody heard from him?
You actually you haven't met him, have you? Oh, I think
No,
you're gonna
I've-
like him. He's a nice guy.
I've
Who
met
you
him.
talk-
I'm not talking to you.
I know. I've met Jolly.
Yeah, the drunk guy sitting next to him.
Oh.
But you're pointing at me. No, we're
Yeah.
not.
It's not all
We're
about
not
you,
talking to you.
Forgar.
Yes, it is.
So
When
that's
did you
a
meet Jolly?
lot of leads. We need to start
Maybe-
checking some of these off.
Maybe we
Yeah.
should just report him missing and let the guards do the rest.
But if we go to the temple, then they might know where he's like just gone off on a business trip. Who knows?
Yeah, our encounter this evening tells us that the guards will for sure be able to find him.
Between snogging in warehouses and
Oh yeah, Thunis,
chasing down rats naked.
I'll tell Thunis in detail about what happened with the guard. Lots and lots of details.
I agree with Alice here though. The thing about the archaeologist seems to be the most time sensitive.
Yeah.
And we can do that on the way with the refugees.
Yeah, I was gonna
If
say, isn't
they
it on
want
the
to
way
go,
that they
okay.
want to go?
refugees are going to slow us down. How many are there?
It's like something like 7 families.
Yeah, old, infirm, kids.
Infirm.
But you want them out on the road, like with the attacks going on and weird stuff happening. Just
Well,
defend us.
We've seen them safely here. Waterdeep is a safe place for refugees. I'm just suggesting
really?
that we
No, it's not.
wait.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not a good place.
Okay. We just don't have a lot of time, I think, to track down this guy, and they will slow us down. Damn it! It's frozen again.
Hmm.
I'm fine either way. Like going with the refugees and going without them. But I would like to understand to get a better clue of what happened to Jolly and what was about this note. It seems like somebody does know something if he writes winter is coming and we hear about ice ships going about.
That's certainly something we can do quickly too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
to
in town?
Jolly's.
Is the temple in town?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would do that in the morning while we prep for the trip.
Yes, in the morning, Borgar. Go sleep.
To Jolly's.
Yeah, just lay your head down on the table and rest for just a moment.
Oh, you guys have made me a monster.
And now we have a fallen paladin in the party.
Oath of treachery. Got it.
Yeah.
So the plan is to go in the morning to the Oak Father's temple.
Yeah.
Well, do we check Jolly's shop to see if maybe he returned?
It's
We can
not
do that as well.
that many hours ago we were there.
All
We
right.
were there in the evening.
What do
Okay.
we tell? What do we tell the Tritons?
We ask him where the shipwreck is.
We ask him that, and we tell them.
Is anyone else having problems?
Nope.
No?
Just you, man.
I think we should tell them that we are leaving the town on
Official
official
city business.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Because we're super legit.
I mean, we have a mansion from the state, and all these badges and stuff. I mean,
Okay. So when you wake up, Mr. Elborn wakes you up with breakfast and the morning newspaper. The headline: repairs in El Terchul Academy. Warehouse are being turned down. Evacuating place for a new building to store the Academy's ancient books. Road traffic will be blocked for those roads. Strangely enough, or not strangely enough, including the road that leads to the warehouse you have visited the night before.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a pretty powerful family to be able to block traffic in a major city like that, especially in and around the warehouses and the docks.
Yeah, but there's no telling how many of these intellect devours that have like infiltrated like the government or officials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some kind of ice pack on my head while we're reading this.
I tell Elmon to not leave the house unless it's necessary, and that and if he has the time to go to the city guard and report Mr. Jolly missing, because we are busy today and don't have time to do that.
He says, sure.
And that's very nice of you.
Okay, so now I want to go to that warehouse again, but we can wait with that one for when we come back, I think. So let's go to the church, see if we can I find somebody can tell us who wrote that note, or if they identify this writing, or what winter is coming actually means, and check up on the refugees. I'm fine with not carrying them around all the way to Thornhold. We can go check on them when they're there later on.
Okay, so you head to the Oaksfather Temple, basically traveling the streets of Neverwinter, which are basically clogged because of the traffic jams at the docks. But you manage to navigate and find the temple to the Forest Father. It stands in the wealthiest ward of the city, the Sea Ward, and you kind of go around the docks and climb uphill to find it, which is it's not a noble family building per se, but you can see that it is a very wealthy establishment, a very well-funded church. When you go there, on the courtyard, just in front of the temple, there's a large grassy kind of garden. You can see two people standing there, a man and a woman. They are very young. They are surrounded with friends who are dressed like peasants in their finest clothes. There's a beautiful elf, female, talking to them. And to the right side, you can see, to your surprise, Jolly. He stands there with the dwarf, Morak, and with another old man, and they are arguing about something. When you approach a man a half elf approaches you. He has the outfit of a ranger, but you can all see that his clothes are basically ceremonial. And he says, "Are you for the wedding?"
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
But this way,
No.
please.
No.
And when they say yes, I'm just starting to shake my head. Not, well, yeah, I guess yes.
Yes.
So
Totally.
he leads you to where the two men are standing, that the man and the woman, and the elf, the beautiful elf. She is a stunning young elf wearing basically nothing but leaves. So you can see the bride and the groom. They are both, rosy cheeked, and all the farmers and peasants around them are also kind of they're enjoying the view but trying hard not to make a big thing out of it. And you can see that this elf is basically wedding them. She's talking about how Sylvanus seizes and balances all, melting out wild water and drought, fire and ice, life and death. Hold your distance and take in total situation. She kind of goes on and on in front of all these people. And as you are brought there, they all kind of turn and look at you, but they don't really recognize you. So there's an awkward moment.
Yeah, I probably stand out like a sore thumb here. I'm
Probably
dressed
all of us do.
somewhere between dock worker and homeless guy. It's where I fit in my garb. The elf that's doing the wedding, I assume a sun elf.
Yes.
Kind of
not-
mutter under my breath. What does she know of Sylvanus?
So she kind of talks, and as she sees that the audience is not really with her, she kind of looks at you, and you all, Renner's jaw kind of drops. She's only wearing leaves that hide what needs to be hidden, and you can see that the bride is not very happy with how her would-be husband reacts. So
I take out my lute and I start playing a song for them, and I tell to the audience in Elvish that the main attraction is over there, and I continue playing.
Oh, and over there is.
I point at the woman who's wedding the folks.
Oh,
Main
I see.
The ceremony.
Make a
Oh, God.
performance check.
All right, it's a 13
please
plus
don't
4, so
fail.
it's 17.
17. So as you kind of go about your flute, the young elf is kind of she stops her speech, and then she looks at you with a smile that could kill. Right? I mean, if a smile could kill you, this smile would have. She looks at you and says, "Oh, beautiful music. Make it stop." And she kind of walks to you and says, welcome to this lovely place of us, to this wedding. My name is Galinda Raventree. Why are you playing music at this wedding? I don't remember inviting a bard.
This is the priestess, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to talk very quietly to her so that only she would be able to hear me while continuing to play. I'm playing a lute, not the flute.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was kind of, what?
Like
He's
Yeah.
incredibly
talking,
talented.
like while playing the flute, like out of one mouth, playing the flute with the other side.
He,
Yeah,
he,
Bob
he
Dylan
also
style.
beatboxes. Yeah.
Yeah. What was her name? Ravinda?
Galinda.
Galinda.
Delinda. My apologies, Delinda. Oh, fair, Delinda. Me and my friends here are actually trying to look for somebody and kind of stumbled into this wedding by mistake. I do hope you'd forgive me and do enjoy this song. Just carry on. We will leave soon.
She kind of, gapes at you, but she understands that what you're saying, and she kind of waves her hand and goes back to lecture the newly or the about to be wedded couple. But all the peasants around them are still looking at you strangely. So when you do leave, eventually, you can actually hear her kind of sigh. Oh, thank God.
So could I approach Jolly?
Yes.
And he's with Morak Gray.
Yes, and another old man that you don't recognize.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
This old man, it's not the noble, is it?
No,
Yeah.
you haven't seen him.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna say to Jolly, I have a message for you from Morak, but I see you've already received it. I'll look at Morak and just kind of nod to him like I did my job. And then I'll step back.
Yes, I did your job. But yes.
Took me time. Sorry.
So Jolly looks at you and then immediately kind of looks around, and then he spots all the awkward group at the wedding. So he kind of waves at you and motions you to come. And then he says, where is Eamon?
It's maybe not the right place and
Time
to
or
talk,
place.
to talk about that.
And then he says, why? What happened?
Eamon didn't
He
make it.
stayed behind at Nightstone.
Yeah,
We
he stayed behind.
So, so he looks at you, Forgar, and says, stayed behind? Yes, probably a lot of things to do there. How was the meeting with Lady Varosa?
Didn't happen.
Why?
Well, the town had already been attacked by a floating ship that threw rocks and giants, and there was this super jerk of an elf dude, and we
Orcs.
kind of got forced to flee, and while fleeing in the moat, Eamon didn't make it to the other side.
So Jolly kind of takes it all in, and you can see his face go from a smile to confusion to deep, deep sadness. And then he says, Eamon didn't make it.
Yeah, we thought maybe the wedding wasn't the right place, but you kept asking.
And then he says, what about Lady Nander?
no.
No. We ended up escorting the remainder of the town back to Waterdeep. There should be someone who's claiming charge of that group there. Here.
And then he says, a giant ship, floating ship.
That's
and
what
then
we were told.
when he says that, you can see the old man next to him kind of goes and looks at him as if saying, I told you so. And then Jolly kind of, he forces himself out of this sadness that went all over him. And then he says, excuse me, where are my manners? This is Mr. Mirrormool, a scholar working for the Oak Fathers priests, maintaining the library.
Nice to meet you. I'm Forgar.
And this Mirrormool says, we have been Studying all night, but I see that Mr. Jolly needs a drink, and you probably could use one too. So please
No.
come.
No. He can't. And we can't.
Yes, I totally can. Thank you for keeping looking out for me, but yes. Let's do that.
No.
No, we're a little bit in a hurry right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have much time.
Where are you going? Jolly says.
Out of town.
Where to?
We're trying to meet someone.
On what business? What? Why are you leaving so soon? You have just arrived with those terrible news.
Archaeological information, or that's what the meeting's
gonna-
about?
Glare at you. Borgar. Our business is our own. We came seeking information about a note we found on your door, Jolly.
And at this point, Morak kind of coughs and says, "Yes, well, I have put it there."
What does it mean?
And he looks at all of you and he says, "If Mr. Jolly chooses, he will tell you."
I'll look at Jolly.
We all look at
What
Jolly.
Yeah.
All the
Jolly,
heads
we don't have time for a tavern right now. Would you mind telling us right now?
Yes. Oh, it is a very old business of mine. I helped a friend who was in the possession of a very ancient artifact. I was charged of hiding his son. I did so, but now it seems, and he looks at the old man, that the giants are after the relic, and maybe my plan was not so secured as I thought. I think those giants are searching for my friend's son.
Where
Friend's
did you
son's
hide
a
him?
relic?
He's in possession of the relic. Your friend's son.
He is in possession of my friend's bloodline. The giants believe that bloodline can lead them to the relic. I fear that all this, and he kind of waves in the general direction of the sky, is about that. And Mirror Mole says, "We have studied the tomes, and we believe the giants are after the ice that never melts."
Oh,
What's
Blank,
that?
blank, blank.
Yeah,
The
right.
normals, that wouldn't be some artifact that is up north, like just a bit north from Bottomley, would it?
I don't know where it is buried, or hidden, or resides, but it is a powerful artifact that could bring winter to the entire land of Faerun. It would encase the world in ice. This is how the giants want it. The giants, those giants who sail on ships made of ice.
Oh, I don't like that. Water should
Neither do
flow,
I.
not be solid.
Assuming the fire giants aren't keen on this either. Maybe we should tell them.
And Mirror Mole says, "We believe that the giants are seeking that artifact, and we believe that they haven't located it yet, but they are obviously seeking means to detect my friend's son." And he looks at Jolly and say, "Did I get it right?" And he says, "Yes, yes. I
Well-
hid him."
So the son, the bloodline, I don't understand that connection.
Well,
Maybe his blood is the Ice that never melts. Whatever.
No. Jolly says, my friend had a ring. It is a powerful artifact, and it is said that it has binded to his bloodline. Only one of his bloodline could wield its power, but my friend vanished years ago, and he told me to keep his son safe. I did it the only way I could. I hid him in a place that no one will ever find him. But
Was
now
his
I
name
feel...
Eamon?
And he says, no.
Sorry, too soon.
Sorry to say. He says, no, it wasn't Amen. But Amen was the man I hoped to send after my friend's son. He was a good hunter and tracker. He could have found anyone.
He wasn't as good as me. I'll find him.
I agree with that.
High five.
Hey. This guy is not good at like detecting traps or anything, but
No, that's not my expertise.
So Jolly says, I believe everything you see around you. The ships made of ice, the recent reports of giant activities, the
brains attacking people also.
I don't know anything
Trolling.
about brains attacking anyone, but everything is about this young man. Well, he was young 40 years ago when I hid him. But everything is related to that. I'm sure of it.
The ring. Where's the ring? Does the son have it?
I don't know. The son doesn't have it. It vanished with my friend, and I haven't seen my friend for a long time.
Okay.
A very, very long time.
Where have you hidden his son?
And he opens his mouth to say something, and then Mirumul kind of shuts him down and says, we don't know if we can trust him. And Jolly says, of course we can. And they kind of start this debate just in front of you.
Are other people still looking at us? I'm
The
checking around to
wedding-
see if anybody's looking around at us.
So the wedding is still underway, and most of the people are busy with the priestess clothes. So
Or lack thereof.
yeah.
I'm putting very careful attention to not be paying attention to that.
Jolly says, looks at you, Zenis, and says, what was Lady Valrosa's need out of Eileen? Did they manage to meet at least or talk before the attack?
No, unfortunately not.
Oy.
We did manage to get some information.
What sort of information? Lady Valrosa told me that it was very important that Eileen would learn it.
Well,
The
yeah,
flammable kind.
Perhaps
Yeah.
we shouldn't speak in front of these other two. I don't know if we can trust them.
And you're referring to which two?
Morak or Gray and the other gentleman. And I'm just going to dead-eye them when I say it.
Because they didn't trust us.
Well, I didn't mention brain-eating creatures. We cannot trust anyone here. We need to test everyone.
No. We said brains that eat other creatures, not brain-eating creatures.
And he says,
brains that attack people.
he says
besides-
They
that-
take over their brains.
They did seem
Yeah.
to take out the brain. But they were really easy to detect. If they're any near, this guy will turn into water, like explode.
Not always.
We have an
Always.
alarm.
not
Oh,
always.
yeah, he didn't do it last time. I don't know, you
Yeah, but I
might.
don't. I thought it was the. No.
Yeah,
The
but you get
dude.
like
You're
a
right.
bad migraine near them.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a way to detect intellect devourers, people who are being controlled by them?
and Mirrormole says, I have connections with the Magisters and the Masked Lord. I could ask a war wizard to come and conduct a test on us all.
Assuming that war wizard wasn't already controlled by them.
Yep.
How do we trust anyone?
We don't. So by that logic, we're your only choice. We know everything, and we haven't killed you yet.
But
So-
maybe you want to take this information so you know. Maybe they are working for those giants. Yes, Jolly, don't listen to them.
Fine, have it your way. Find your friend yourself, and I'm gonna walk away.
I'm gonna join him.
Don't mind those jerks. We actually want to help. And I'll ask Mork, how are the others from Nightstone doing?
So Morak says that they are preparing to leave to Thornhold, where they hope that the dwarves will give them shelter. And Mirror Mole kind of stumps to the other direction, glad that the rest have left. And at this point, Jolly kind of hands you a something that looks like a very big and clockwork syringe.
Cool. I want to look at it.
And he says, you need to go to Bryn Shander. There you will find him. I hid him with the town's priest. His name is Simba.
And where is this town?
He looks right and left and says, it's up north, a very dangerous track, but you will make it if you find him. Take a sample of his blood. We will then use it to find the ring and hide here.
With this? And
it looks like it could kill a small pony or something like that if you draw blood with it. But he points and says, yes, take his blood. Only then we can find the ring. I don't know if he's still alive. Even if he's not, you can stick it in its body.
Really?
Out of game, was the priest's name Simber or the son's name Simber?
The son's name. No.
Oh, I thought it was the priest.
No.
What was the name of that guy? What was the name of his friend?
So, Quarian, when you hear the name Simber, you are very well versed in the legends of this land, and you immediately associate this name with the name Artus Simber, who was a renowned adventurer, made a fortune in Chult, where he supposedly acquired the Ring of Winter, or in its other name, the Ice That Never Melts. But he vanished and was not seen ever since. It is the first time you hear that he has a son.
Okay. I come back to him and did you say Simber?
And he says, yes, we traveled together for years during the spell plague. I was the wizard of his adventuring company, but I have lost all my powers when the plague have hit.
What about him? Didn't he lose any of his power?
He had the ring. We believe that it will keep him safe. After all, it did keep him young. He hadn't aged a day in the 40 years we traveled together.
Where did you last see him?
In Chult. He was seeking a temple. He was trying to save his wife. She was also infected by the plague, but unfortunately for her, it consumed her mind. She was dead when the last time I've met him. He then gave me the baby and told me to hide him. I only thought of 10 towns far away in the north as the place to hide him. I traveled there and gave him to the priest of Breen Shander. His name is Kale, and if my old magic before the plague consumed it was anything to be trusted, he is still there. I would have known if he had perished.
The priest, Kale, what's he a priest of?
Oh, Kale is the name of the son of...
Jesus.
It's kind of odd you mentioned Chult. There was a shipment of wine from Chult that had these brains that attacked people. Intellect devours, I think they're called. They were like able to take over people's brain and control the body. There were some nobles from Ulturchial Academy there that was infected.
Well, in this case, I obviously can't talk to anyone from the city. I considered involving the Magisters, but if you believe there is an infestation of intellect devourers in the city, we obviously can't trust anyone.
Yes. No. And Eileen did get a message in Nightstone. We got a map in a compass that belonged to Vasco Vacona. But the map was damaged, so we're not sure quite what it leads to. Or exactly where.
All I know that Lady Rosa told me that the information she has will save Eileen's kingdom from a terrible fate, but she didn't say what. She told me she will tell her face to face.
Yes, sadly she didn't get the chance. She was dead when we arrived. The town had already been mostly destroyed, and goblins was pillaging everything.
I fear for the...
Yes, I'm surprised Morak and I didn't mention any of this.
So Morak says, we dwarfs are sturdy. We can face danger and conquer it.
The priest in Bryn Shander, what's his name? And what temple is he a part of?
Priest's name is Matthias, and he is a priest of Tempus.
Oh.
I fear for the land, my friends. It seems that bad times are upon us. The city infested with mind flayers or intellect devourers, giant ships of ice sailing the seas, Zentarim everywhere, and those giants seeking something. I fear for the land.
Yes,
What-
we heard.
What's
heard that-
Zentarum, by the way?
What's Zentarans?
Zentarum. We didn't talk about Zentarum in this conversation.
Oh, you just said that someone tried to occupy Nightstone.
Oh, okay.
I have learned from knights sent by the masked lords that ruined or raided villages were occupied by Zentarim forces soon after. We can assume the Zentarim cooperate with the giants.
That faceless elf dude could have been one then. He was a
Burnt
real
face.
jerk.
Zolkin.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he could be Zentarum. He's got the attitude of it.
Mhm.
I still think we need to go north and find the tiefling first.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. Yeah. It
agree.
seems like everything that we want to go to, except for the shipwreck, is pretty much up north.
Well, the shipwreck is northeast.
Well, 10 towns is way far north. It is a
Yes.
very long voyage.
Actually, the map didn't lead to the river near Neverwinter.
Yeah, Neverwinter's
Right.
on the way.
Oh yeah, so we can actually sail up there.
Yeah, we can sail. I think we can sail up the coast, and then I think we can go up the river to Neverwinter. Is that right? If we get a
The
riverboat?
Neverwinter is at the sea, I believe. It's a port city at the sea.
Mhm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking Silvery Moon. Sorry.
Mm. Oh yeah, that's way east.
Yeah, but I think there's a river that you can barge up.
Yeah, I think there's.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
we could. I mean, Neverwinter is certainly on the way to 10 Towns, but I don't know that we can sail to 10 Towns. We'll need to overland from Neverwinter, if memory serves me.
Yes. But
What's
it
in
does
10
sound-
towns?
It does sound like
Bryn
Eileen-
Shander is one of the
Oh.
10 Towns.
Okay.
It does sound like Eileen might want to go find whatever this map is leading to.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important as well. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, but
Yeah.
everything is important.
yeah, it's all interconnected
Yeah,
somehow.
including that I really need to go visit the Buzzing Nymph Inn at some point because I have a meeting there with our certain lady.
Unrelated topic.
Yes.
Unrelated.
Yeah, well, I was of course not mentioning that. No, and we're not discussing it right now. This is all out of character.
Yeah.
Especially since Elithir isn't here. Yes.
If Aelithir's not there, then neither is our bard there.
Well, he said he turned
He
around.
walked away.
He turned around. He said he heard Symbiar.
He came back.
Yeah.
All right.
What are we doing?
Yes.
Dancer.
Is there anything else we need to talk to with Jolly about?
He says.
Our payment.
Yeah.
So he will provide you each with the regular fee, which is basically 150 gold pieces each for completing the mission that he gave you. But if you are indeed traveling to the north and basically helping him locate the son of Artus Cimber, he will hand you an advance of 200 gold pieces each, because the trek will be difficult.
I have so much money. I have too much money to carry.
Exactly.
I can help you with that. There's
First
this
world
box
problem.
at the entrance to the church. It's where we put money when we have too much. I mean,
Well, no, there's
such
there's
thing.
no. There's an orphanage I need to go donate to.
Like me.
While you go, he says, I will stay here and try to learn whatever I can about those intellect devourers. I need to understand who we can trust and who we can't. This isn't something only the 7 of us can handle. We need more people involved, but we need to involve the right ones.
Okay.
I will stay behind and try to sort things out. When you reach Neverwinter, send a word. I will make sure to contact you as well.
Cool.
Okay.
So this
And we-
tiefling's just a day's journey north, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should take 2
How
or 3 days.
close was
Let's start with that.
Thornhold?
What?
Thornhold?
Yeah, Thornhold. How close was that to the north?
2 days.
Thornhold. So Thornhold is right next to Neverwinter, really?
No.
No. It's 2 days north of Waterdeep.
Neverwinter is, I think, a couple hundred miles north.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like 20 or 30 days
Oh,
at
okay,
least.
okay,
like,
okay. I see.
but-
I see. All right.
to Neverwinter. Can't remember. how
Where's
much it
the shipwreck, by the way?
is. Northeast of Neverwinter, I believe it was, on the river there.
It was north of Waterdeep,
Was it north
it's
of
all-
Waterdeep?
near Waterdeep, but
Oh.
we don't know where.
Oh,
Right.
Are we talking about Vasco Varcona, the Star Dancer?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was
Oh,
near
I
Waterdeep.
thought it was near Neverwinter, the river there.
Okay, so the plan is to head north to the Tiefling to try and see
Yes.
what he is up to. Okay.
Yeah.
So any last arrangements in Waterdeep?
Yes, I am going to Sebasthul to pick up the map, which is hopefully restored by now.
Okay. Anyone coming with him?
No.
I'll follow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I will follow.
Oh, yes, but let's go in there and have a quick drink first, and then I'll run off.
Ah. Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
I
I
have-
want to go. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I have my own
want to
business.
I want to go
attend
visit
so-
my son and wife again. I just want to check if my son has seen a monster again.
Okay.
I also have some money to drop off somewhere.
Okay.
I'm going to take
Uh,
50 gold of what he gave me, and I'm going to give it to someone.
I'm
Okay.
going to drop off 50 gold as a donation at an orphanage also.
I need to buy some supplies too.
Yes.
We're only going a day away.
But
I thought
now
we were
think-
going a day away and then keeping going.
Oh, I
I
think we'll
think
have
we
to come
should-
back to
I think
Waterdeep
we
to
should
get
have
on
to
a
come
ship.
back and then get us on a ship, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't
Zunis?
realize
There
the
and
ship in
back.
it.
Yeah, I don't want to walk all the way to Neverwinter. It's too far.
Okay. Zunis?
Nope, not really.
Oh,
Okay.
I want to buy a
Oh.
grappling hook.
Okay, so as you all...
There is one more thing. I would like to visit Kella just to see how she's doing,
Okay. That's...
since she totally liked me. She was
So-
into me.
Does Jolly have any horses we can rent?
Jolie doesn't have any horses, but with the money you got, you can either join a caravan or you can rent horses. There's no problem. You have enough money to get horses.
Okay. We actually came back into town on horses, didn't we?
Maybe, but you left
Yeah.
them with the refugees.
Okay.
Their horses, basically. So as you all kind of scatter again in Waterdeep to make your arrangements, you all go to maybe the market or maybe the mansion. Jack Hins go to the nymph again. You all read or hear the news again as you kind of travel the streets. There are people whose job is to basically shout the news and hand out the papers if you are willing to pay. They also report something that kind of pricks your ear: the untimely death of a dragonborn named Armage, a bookkeeper who was found dead, heart failure, they say.
That's the guy we talked to, right? Or Ellen?
Yes.
was
Yeah.
talking to.
Yes.
Mhm.
He's the
And-
one that told us about the Zentarum.
Let's
And
visit
as-
this bookstore.
And as you all go about the city, I need you all to make perception checks.
Ah.
Ooh, I see everything with my 2.
Hey, I got a 4.
13.
I got a 16.
Just 1 second.
I'm too distracted by the thoughts of the woman, the blushing nymph. And meeting back up with Kella, of course. Because she's also really beautiful and she had a snake with wings. Come on. How
15.
cool is that?
15. So, strangely enough, only Elithir and Quarian, you are the only one who actually notice a winged snake just before a shadowy figure jumped on you with a knife at hand. So you are the only one who managed to see the attack as it came. So you basically saw this flying snake maybe perched on a roof or on a rope between two buildings or on the shoulder of someone, and then the knifed hand. The other guys who failed their checks didn't even see it coming. And we'll pick it up in 2 weeks' time.
Okay. Cool.
With initiative.
Yeah, started off with initiative.
Yeah, we'll start off with initiative.
Did this happen before or after we managed to buy supplies?
After, let's say after.
Alright.
I'll give you that, even though my layout is screwed over. I'll give you that.
No. You just gotta do supply. You gotta do supply of knives, like in the back.
Yeah, in the back.
Have a
Yes,
knife. Here, have
cool,
another
yeah.
knife, and another knife, and another knife. See,
They just leave them. You look like a
Yeah.
porcupine of Night Hill.
he's a generous DM. He's giving out free knives.
Free knives to everyone. Okay, guys. So yeah, you have a lot of things to think about. I'll try to document as much as I can. But if you have any things that you want me to expand on, let me know, and I'll document them even more and add notes to Roll20. Just let me know, okay? If you want me to expand on something.
Okay.
Okay, great. So this campaign will take us 15 years to finish, but I'm planning to, being here. So
Yeah, you'll never have to buy another book. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
yeah, same.
He already bought the Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm really amazed at how often this turned into Alien when we were running campaigns with you. The first adventure with Ido that I joined in was pretty much Alien.
So yeah, it
Nothing wrong with that.
should
No,
be interesting.
no, I have no problem with that either.
Yes, should be interesting. Okay, guys. If you want, you can send me only if you want an email saying kind of what of the, you have a lot of things to do. You can send me what interests you, right? So if there's one aspect of the campaign that sounds like more alluring to you, send me a note, and then I'll, maybe you all write on the same thing, but I can then, pick up the interesting stuff and work on that if you want me to. So let me know. Otherwise, we'll explore it as we go.
Yeah, it's hard to decide.
None of
Nothing
this,
really
none of this is interesting. Everything
No.
bad is north. Let's go
Yeah.
south.
Let's go to Chult, everybody. Let's go get
Yeah.
some-
If winter's freezing over, I'm out.
And then
south.
Tomb of Annihilation happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm covered. So
Yeah. No matter where we go, it's like, oh, I have an adventure for that.
yes, I have a book for that.
I like the submarine life, I think, and the underwater city or whatever it was.
No.
That sounds cool.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Citadel.
No,
That's
the rest
bad.
of us will die.
I
Head
think so,
will-
so
heads
bad.
will
I think that's
explode.
neat.
Like, breathing underwater. Like, who
I
can
need
do
some
that?
magic to make that happen.
We already lost somebody to drowning.
Yeah.
That is a good point. I changed my mind. I want nothing to do with that underwater city.
Trying to stay above, but on solid ground now.
Maybe we can get like potions or something. Like
Yeah, that will
Put them
run
in
out.
IV.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so think about it and let me know. I'll cook something up.
All right.
And,
Okay, guys. Yeah. What?
Just for James, if you want to buy a plate mail, then some of the others could probably donate some money to you.
Hey.
Since,
How much
since
does
a lot
that
of us have
cost?
it costs.
Oh no,
1500. It costs 1,500. But
Oh,
some
wow.
of us,
1,500. How about a breastplate, man?
I carry
Yeah,
a
but it's-
shield. I'm pretty
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I got
but
like a 17 armor class, but chainmail is kind of crappy for
with a-
stealthy.
with a plate mail and shield, 20.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about stealth, man. We got other people for that.
Yeah.
A metal bikini.
Yeah.
There we go.
That only
Where do I
works. For,
get that
that only works for females. Like
Yeah.
I
the
disagree.
more
I think
revealing
we
it
can
is,
make
the better
that work.
protection.
Come on, that metal bikini would look fantastic on me, right?
No. Remember, some of us have concentration spells. Like, no, not that.
That was actually epic. That's
Yes.
guys. I'm heading to bed. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
See you until
Okay.
next
Bye,
time.
guys.
Yep. See you then.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Then it froze.
Yeah, but